Ooh, it's that brunch bonus Patreon content. We never make that.
Yeah, and we never make it in person.
Yeah, Your Honor, we've been doing remote because we're trying to get our money's worth with this redacted subscription we have. That
It's getting better. It's getting better. I will say that. It looks great.
it's getting better. I mean,
But you know what else is getting better? This in-person setup. You see that nice little camera that we got? I got some new lenses this week.
Yeah.
I told you on the regular episode this week that we're really investing in the video game.
Yeah, don't leave us.
Video stuff is going to get better. If you didn't notice, we've got 2 Best Picture episodes, mini episodes up on the main feed, and they both have in-house Spotify video supported now. That's something that we are going to, spoiler alert, this is a little bonus for you as Patreon subscribers. We are going to start doing that for all regular episodes here shortly. So if you're subscribed to the regular feed on Spotify, you can get all that video episodes in the Spotify app when you play it. So it's awesome.
I'll be completely honest, just didn't know you could do that. About a month ago, I was listening to Circling Back, and I was like, it's right there. That's wild.
I didn't know that it was as easy as it is.
Is it just like the way you upload it?
Yep.
You want video
too?
too?
It's just, hey, you want to upload a MP4 instead of an MP3? Have at it.
Interesting. It makes the importance of art less, which doesn't matter. We're still going to drop the bag on whoever does the Eugene drawings.
That's right.
In Your Honor. We should make a video like documenting that.
What, like the process of the art being made?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just have him just be like, yo, just take some videos. Have him or her. It could be a woman who's playing Eugene. Famously, the voice of Bart Simpson is Nancy Cartwright.
Mm-hmm.
And also of Nelson and the Flanders Kid and Ralphie Wiggum. Straight up a woman.
Very cool.
Playing
So,
you ever see Mary Martin's Peter Pan? Mary Martin in Peter Pan? It was Peter Pan. It was played by Mary Martin.
well, I saw
flying
that
all around.
Allison Williams played Peter Pan.
That is true. Peter Pan, not going to lie, getting played by women.
Yeah.
Boy, there's a lot of...
The Simpsons, handshake, women talking.
Women talking.
That's right.
We've reviewed, I'm not positive it'll be out by the time you're listening to this, but we got Women Talking coming. And this is the final week that we're going to be churning out Oscars content. Kind of. The Oscars mini episodes will be done this week, which is pretty sweet.
Huge.
Your Honor is back, though, and it's back with a 7th episode of Season 2. Why am I not surprised that, like, 2 seconds into this episode, they bring back Lee?
Yeah, I was expecting Lee to be on the outs. I thought she was cut from the team.
Yeah.
I forgot Lee existed. I kind of sent you that text.
Shepherding, she was like shepherding Eugene, and under her tutelage, Eugene just starts murdering kids.
Yeah, this
So
man
they're like,
went off the tracks.
Yeah.
Lee failed as his guardian. But yeah, Lee's back, and
Lee helping Eugene, Lee remaining American, handshake meme.
Not doing a good job.
Not doing such a hot job. She's so British.
This was not the best episode of Your Honor, I will say. This is, I think, maybe the first borderline stinker of the season.
Okay, keep going.
I just think that this is the first episode where I really felt like it kind of went off the rails a little bit and got a little unhinged.
Oh yeah, no, but
I guess not the first episode that got unhinged, but like went back to its season 1 roots where you're like, oh, this is getting worse.
That makes me feel, though, that it's more of a throwback. This
Fair.
felt more in line with a classic Your Honor episode. There's so many things. They do so many things. They tie up certain storylines while also maybe kind of adding new ones, because now Lee is back. Eugene officially is back.
Not dead.
No, but I'm saying, like, Eugene is... As far as like the as far as like the world knows,
oh, he's back.
That is Eugene.
Put the word up. Eugene's
is,
back on the streets.
He is on the record.
Yeah.
Women Talking. If they're taking a census
That's right. Eugene is on that census.
They were including Eugene Jones, and they're like, "Wait, is that the kid? You're like, who does murder drawings?" And they're like, "What? You meant who shot somebody?" Yeah, but then he did murder drawings after that.
Yeah, and he also did the Michael Scott bankruptcy declaration at the hospital. He's like, "My name is Eugene Jones. My name is Eugene Jones. My name is Eugene Jones." So like, everybody knows.
Which ward are we in? Michael gets pulled over, and obviously this is the guy who murdered his wife. And at first I was like, he is just coming from meeting with not Kofi Jones, KJ.
Mm-hmm.
He's on his way to go see Costello, on whom you remember they've made up. They're on good terms again. And immediately a cop who they show the name tag, but they don't show what's on the name tag. And that's because the show thinks you're stupid.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just want to remind
Take
you
a guess.
this could be the guy that killed his wife. And at first I'm like, yo, there's no way this guy is catching up this quickly. But shout out your honor, it's getting a little better. They do address that, and they explain that, where he says, once Costello opened the case back up, I just figured I'd start following you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that kind of makes sense. I'll give you that. Frankie is fired.
Yeah, what the fuck, man?
They did Frankie dirty.
Frankie
Frankie is this season's Eugene.
Yeah, Frankie got done so dirty. He did nothing wrong. Zero things wrong.
In the eyes of the law, he did a few things wrong.
Well, that's his job.
Yeah.
He was doing his job. He got his ass beat by his boss, and his boss is like, "Okay, cool. Now that I've beat the shit out of you, you are fired."
I mean,
It's like,
I
pick
feel
one,
like-
dog.
legitimately, I think that Frankie and Lil Mo should team up
That would be a dope.
and just be like, I was pretty good at my job. Actually, Lil Mo, not great.
Also, I think that they really glazed over how jealous or insecure Jimmy is of Gina's relationship with Frankie.
Yeah.
Because after he fires Frankie, he like really hones in on well, I know how you feel about Frankie to Gina, and it's like
the only time that was mentioned is when she's like, "Are you gonna fuck me? You're gonna have Frankie do it." I never got the sense that
no,
she,
me neither.
at the end of the previous episode, she says, "Hey, Frankie, you're gonna handle this," but that's just because Jimmy doesn't do a good job. That has nothing to do with sex.
And like clearly, we know that Gina wants to fuck Carlo.
Yeah.
Not much on the trail of Frankie.
So you think that Gina's monogamous with her feelings for Carlo?
Yes,
She only has eyes
Yeah.
for
her son,
her son, her alive son.
her alive son. Yeah.
Fia has quit the family. Tough look for the family. I
The
think
Baxters fired Frankie. Fia fired the Baxters.
as I was writing down, Fia quit. Guessing this means no baptism. They find that the suite has been cleaned out and left in the crib, all nice, laid out, beautiful white, the baptism costume. And they see this. They see it's all emptied out. And then about 4 seconds later, Carlo says, "She's gone."
Thanks, Carlo.
buddy.
Thanks, Carlo.
Thanks, buddy.
Really appreciate you.
You should be
You should be a detective.
Yeah, you should be made head of security for the family. And Jimmy actually does that. Jimmy makes him head of the security for the family. And when Gina says, "Wait, why'd you get rid of Frankie?" He says, because he was head of the security for the family and things haven't been so secure around here. Do you think that's ever since Carlo came home?
It's true.
The whole job
a lot of deflecting
security
here.
is watch out for what Carlo's doing, clean up after what Carlo does, and Jimmy, who I gotta say, kind of refreshing to see the young man feeling himself.
Jimmy found some peace in this episode.
Jimmy is feeling himself.
He also found a bowl of pasta, and I could have done without that scene.
Oh no, I like that. I don't like Carmine eating, but Jimmy was snarfing.
Jimmy was snarfing at like a very inopportune time too.
Yeah.
Because this was like within an hour of them coming back from the hospital.
Fia's
his
quit.
son in a major car crash almost got murdered. Fia quits the family, and Jimmy's like, "Yo, I'm hungry. Anybody else hungry?"
The ink is not dry on Fia's resignation letter, and he's like, "Yo, where is the linguine?" And he's doing the thing. I never do this, by the way. Maybe it's because I mostly don't eat things with forks. I eat chicken fingers. But
Yeah.
he does the thing where he's eating and he points into it with the utensil, like, "You gotta have some of this." You know when people do that? They're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is
This
so
shit's
good."
delicious, and it's dangling off the fork.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, yeah, this is so good." I mean, I'll tell you what. he made that pasta look good.
He did.
I don't know. Also, it's like, I'm assuming this is from your hotel and your restaurant.
Yeah.
You're never trying the wares?
I mean, I think that he was just the vibes inside of him were so high that the food tasted better.
Yeah, it's like a sandwich tastes good after a long day of work.
So he had a long day of beating the shit out of Frankie for no reason, and then got that post firing high.
So he and Big Mo say, you know what we should do to celebrate all this is end our ceasefire with like 14 seconds in the series left. We are now allowed to shoot each other with guns. Talk to you soon. Very peaceful, by the way they do this.
Yeah, like there's
It's not much of a standoff. It's just like, all right, so
there's women talking and then there's gangsters talking.
Yeah.
This was a real gangsters talking moment. Also, I do want to point out one of our listeners, one of our Patreon subscribers did say, like, I think that they're spending so much time on the baptism because that's where shit's going to go down at the end of the season. Now I don't know where we're left with that because it doesn't seem like the baptism's happening unless Fia really has a reconciliation with her family. I hope that there's a baptism that happens at some point in the season. As much as I said I fucking hated the baptism and I wanted to get rid of it, if that led to nothing,
Yeah.
I will be furious.
Well, not as furious as Rudy, because Rudy is throwing a fit in this episode. He is driving around. He walked up to a young man in the last episode and shot him, and now the man he shot didn't die, and he didn't really keep track of what happened to that man or keep tabs on him.
He only put one in him, too. One in the shoulder. It's like, my brother in Christ, you made the trip. You're putting yourself out there. Maybe fire a few insurance shots.
He is in for a penny, in for exactly 1 penny.
Yes, 100%.
Bad job from Rudy,
He does find some redemption in this episode. He hits a target.
Yes, he does. He stops off at Little Mo's or at Big Mo's and is like, you gonna solve any of these problems for me? And they were like, you suck at everything, dude. You are on your own. So he's freaking out. And meanwhile, Beckwith has taken Michael and he's going to shoot him. He's going to kill him.
I do love that, like the main character, the main central figure in all of this starting to happen with like Robin and the fallout and like the dirty cop thing. It involved a cop that we had not met until this episode, and
I know.
He immediately gets. Did he get killed? No. They chain him to a fence and they call the police on him. But like, that's such a Your Honor move is to like hinge one of the biggest Same thing with
plot
KJ. Points on a person that we had not met until that very episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say same thing with KJ, but it's like.
KJ
I
has
actually
been
wouldn't
alluded
want
to.
it to be someone that I don't want it to be.
That would feel
like,
more cheap.
Yeah, like if it's like Charlie's assistant or something, I'd be like, God, you guys are doing too much. Beckwith takes Michael out to shoot him, and Michael is roasting this guy. It's like booing him, calling him gay, I think. He's like really going through his paces, and then makes a hard turn into reciting Emily Dickinson. He goes from, he's like, oh, you think this is going to go well for you when they know that you killed a judge? Think about it. You know what happens to guys like you in prison? Let me tell you. They're going to take their penis because I would not stop for death. Death would stop. And then this has never happened in this show, I don't think, but the classic like action series move of someone's about to shoot someone, and just as they're about to pull the trigger,
gun
they
off
get
screen,
shot.
bang.
Yeah, and that gun belonged to Costello. I don't think we knew if she was much of a shot.
I didn't know if she was much of a shot. Hadn't seen that, but
At least as good as Rudy.
So she started following Michael
Because of Bestie's phone.
Because of Bestie's phone.
Yep.
Which is Bestie finally actually doing something of value here.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a little fucking cheesy. Then the big development in this episode is that Charlie is at the center of a lot of shit going on because he kind of more or less pulled the trigger on Robin says he didn't really know,
inadvertently, maybe.
but like led the dirty cops to Robin essentially.
Right. So there's dirty cops who are killing people, and Robin is doing a story on this, and she says to Charlie, that the phone call was to Charlie. She says, "I need connections. Who can you put me in touch with?" And he says, "Let me
give your information to the dirtiest
to the
cop
guy
I
that's
know."
killing everybody."
Yes.
And
then he goes, "Whoops, I didn't see that happening." So Charlie is either sneaky evil or outrageously dumb, which can't put it past him because
Not ruling out the latter.
this man is the worst politician that has ever politicianed because he took office and has immediately fumbled like every bag.
yeah, he's not great at this job. I know it's kind of late in the game for this, but I'm kind of into the fact that Lil Mo and Chris are going to team.
Yeah.
So Chris's kid brother dies last episode. Big Mo, I knew this was coming, was going to like stop
Go
by
straight.
and like try to do all the right things. And they're going to be like, "I don't want this woman in my house. Get her out of here." That's exactly what happens.
I'll be honest though, like Big Mo's playing things by the book essentially.
No, like she's doing it. That's what somebody, I think, does in that
Right.
case. Like one of their own dies.
They're like, she can't keep getting away with it. And it's like, she's not the one who keeps fucking up. It's like the people that she gives orders to are fucking up. Like the drug
That is
thing
true.
the drug thing is the drug thing. But like, yeah, drugs are bad and shit. But like, she's a gangster. She didn't feed the fucking the 13-year-old a balloon.
Yeah.
It's kind of not to like victim blame, but
No,
Chris left that sitting around and his brother found it.
Yeah, Chris and I forget the other guy. Chris and the guy who got in the accident with Lil Mo. No, with Eugene.
Yeah, I don't know that guy's name.
Yeah, but it's on them. They were hanging out with like Eugene.
Yeah, like yeah, right. And like Big Mo, the only thing Big Mo's really chunked this season is the cartel.
Yeah,
thing.
she just put Lil Mo in an impossible situation.
You can't pull out that late because she got strong-armed by the Baxters.
I will say, the showdown that we got with Michael and Charlie was kind of boring.
It was lame. By Your Honor standards, it was a lame showdown.
Yeah, I wanted some. I mean, granted, Charlie was mid. He was working on a statement.
Yeah, and it also like that seems like it's probably going to be the first of several.
So there's 3 episodes left, and this ends with Michael returning home to find Fia.
It's always
and new
fucking
Rocco.
Baby Rocco on the
Yeah.
goddamn fucking last scene.
So
Nobody has a higher percentage of leading into the credits than Baby Rocco.
That's a great. You should look at the ends of episodes and try to keep that stat. This though ties up seemingly kind of like we know what happened with Robin. Who knows if maybe they do some stuff with Beckwith still.
Beckwith's going to go on trial.
Rudy has killed himself because he has a little showdown with Costello.
Shout outs to Rudy for finally finishing the job.
Yeah, man, Rudy really bad. And his thing, he's like, "I was a good cop." It's like, oh boy, when?
Not in the history of this show.
Yeah. I've only been watching 2 seasons, brother, but you always kind of seemed like a pretty bad cop. But this does maybe set up some Jimmy and Michael stuff for the final few episodes.
Yeah, but it's going to be like over Fia and like
Fia's the GOAT though. Fia's like the.
Yeah, but I don't care enough about like who Fia aligns herself with.
She is upset. Well, she's aligned herself with New Rocco. And that kid's boring.
That kid is famously boring. Yeah, I don't really give a shit about Fia.
Maybe dump New Rocco off on. I always forget the mother-in-law's name.
Yeah, but I don't know her name either.
She was in Cocaine Bear.
Was she really?
She had played a pretty big role, and as I was watching it, I was like, "Yo, yes, this has the cast of Your Honor. Let's go."
Yeah, Isaiah Whitlock as well.
Exactly. I was like, "This is just like a full Your Honor movie." And I'll tell you what, Your Honor is way better than Cocaine Bear.
I still got to see it, but yeah, I think I don't know. I'm like a little concerned that we're going off the rails a little bit, or losing some steam on what I was previously hyping up as a fantastic Your Honor season.
But we still have to hype it up because we're trying to generate popular demand.
Of course, yeah, and you can't have you can't have a third season of Your Honor without a little bit of confliction about going into that third season.
Yeah. I mean, it would be very weird if we're like, all right, now Your Honor rocks.
Yeah, right.
Nah.
I want to be a little bit ashamed of being an Your Honor fan.
Again, I say no one has done more for this show than us, and we keep it behind the paywall because that's a very Your Honor move, actually.
Yeah, pay some money for a
Find
very flawed
it.
product.
Not easy to
Yeah.
find, and go from there. All right, we'll be back. I mean, keep up with the Oscars stuff. We are now going into the second to last week before the Oscars, but at this point, by the end of this week, we'll have you extremely well prepared, and then the week after that we'll just be kind of doing some finishing touches, crossing some T's, dotting some lowercase i's, and Your Honor stuff obviously will accompany it, because what is better than great movies and
Bad
not
TV.
great television?